Welcome back to the Chef Papadelicious page. Today we're going to be making Mousaka, which is a Greek-style lasagna. Very good. It's very hard for non-Greek people to pronounce. Sometimes it's Mousaka or Mousaka, like you're screaming it. But trust me, it's going to be very simple to make and very easy as well. Let's get started. Alright guys, so first things first. Mousaka, let's talk about it. Mousaka is very similar to pasticcio, right? It's gonna be a Greek-style lasagna. So pasticcio is like bechamel sauce, pasta, and meat sauce. Mousaka is a little bit different because it's bechamel sauce, meat sauce, eggplant, and potato. Let's get started on our meat sauce. Right over here, we have some fresh ground beef, 80-20, nothing too crazy, just nice and fresh. Let's get started with browning our meat. So we got a pan preheated with some oil. Then we're gonna chop like crazy. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna season our meat just with salt and pepper. So if you go right over here, you sprinkle with salt and pepper. You don't have to do anything crazy, no like oregano or anything at the moment. You're just starting off, so you can add more seasoning later. And what we're doing is just keep chopping, keep stirring, getting from the bottom. You don't want your meat to burn at the bottom and then at the top it's raw. So just keep stirring, keep chopping, and that's how you get a good meat sauce. Our beef is done. So what we have over here, like I said, we kept stirring. We didn't let that shit stay at the bottom and get all burnt up. So it's all the way cooked through. As you can see, there's a lot of oil. Anytime you get a Mousaka, a pasticcio, a lasagna, and it's really oily, they didn't do one simple step. All you gotta do is get your ground beef and strain it. It's got so much fat in it that it's creating its own oils. So if you just throw all your tomato juice, all your vegetables, it's just gonna be really oily, and you don't want that. You don't want to be that oily person that everyone comes over to your house and everyone's talking about, oh my God, Morfia has a horrible moussaka, it made me have the shits. You don't want that. This is going to be the fresh kind. Our vegetables already cut up, pre-done. We have celery, carrots, mushrooms, and a little garlic in here as well. I shredded the carrots and shredded the mushrooms just so they can melt a little bit, and everything's cut up and ready to go. We're gonna throw it back into our pan. All right, so we're gonna throw all these vegetables in there. And we're gonna cook in that beef fat. So it's very important that all of these vegetables are being cooked in the same pan, because you don't wanna lose that flavor. All that flavor from that beef is still in this pan, and the vegetables are gonna take it. Sauce. In order to get a nice meat sauce, I always love adding tomato paste. Higher concentrated tomato flavor, and then you cook it down a lot better when you go straight to the onions and all your vegetable mirepoix. So I'm gonna throw a little bit in there, and then we're gonna just keep stirring. So this is good because it's gonna cook down that tomato paste. It gets a kind of like a strong flavor, so you want to cook it down. And then we'll start adding our beef and seasoning, and then ultimately the tomato juice as well. Said we're gonna add our beef, but if you look over here for the vegetables, we've got them cooked down with that tomato paste, and it's almost like a dark red wine type of color. So we're gonna add our beef, just like so, and we're gonna stir that for about like maybe a couple minutes, and then we'll add our tomato sauce. As you can see, we have some fancy tomato puree. And our beef is done. It's incorporated with all the vegetables, and we're just gonna add all of our tomato puree in. Is that we're gonna need more liquid in here. So what we're gonna do is, we're gonna first incorporate all of our beef and vegetables to that initial tomato sauce. And then look at your bottle, right? It's got all that tomato left over. So what we're gonna do is just simply go to our sink, swirl it around a little bit, and then add the remaining tomato. And then this is gonna have some time to cook down. So don't worry about it being a little too liquidy at first. That's the whole point of it. You cook down the meat and get all those flavors rendered. So simply, this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna roast those eggplants and potatoes with just olive oil and like black pepper. No salt, no anything like that. It's gonna make the food at the end really salty. So don't think, oh, I gotta season everything, season every step. No, just keep it simple. Olive oil, and a little black pepper. That's it. So we have our pans. We're gonna go ahead and olive oil. You're gonna wanna do it pretty heavy because this is Greek food. And as you can see, we don't have a problem with fat, okay? So you shouldn't have a problem with fat either. So this is gonna make it a lot more flavorful too. So just get good vegetables. As long as you get good vegetables, that good potato flavor is gonna come in, and as well as that good eggplant flavor. So as you see, we peeled our potatoes. I got a russet potato, super simple, just peeled it and then cut it lengthwise. And then we'll just line it up on our pan. So we have our eggplant as well, and as you can see, it's not purple anymore. We peeled off the eggplant and then cut it the same way as the potatoes. So we'll throw it down on our pan and go from there. What we're gonna do is get our olive oil, and then I just have like a little rubber brush, and then just make sure everything's even. Have it seasoned, oiled up. We're gonna throw it into a 400-degree oven. I put it at 390 because my oven's a little weird. Always know your oven, by the way. Like mine is a Frigidaire. It's a piece of shit. So you gotta work with it. So we are. You got your meat going. You got your eggplants, potatoes in the oven. There's some time for you to relax. Sure, you can do dishes, but who wants to do that? Okay? Got a nice glass of Chianti. Go over to the meat sauce. Throw a little bit in there. Maybe a little more. Stir it around. You know. Go from there. And by the way, you can use any red wine. You don't have to use Chianti. Any red wine's fine. And then you just sit back. Sip on a little wine. Enjoy yourself. And that's all you gotta do. Good. Start seasoning. We have some fresh black pepper, and always taste. So season at first. You want to kind of season minimally. Don't season like too crazy. So this is fresh Greek oregano, by the way. And then you have some thyme and a little salt. If you can remember in our Macaroni Mikima video, we had a crossroads. It was about cinnamon. So Greek meat sauce either sometimes has cinnamon, sometimes doesn't. It's basically on the preference. Personally, I kind of like it. So we're gonna put a little bit of cinnamon, just a little bit. Cinnamon's really strong, so don't go crazy. It's not a snickerdoodle cookie, okay? Boom, that's it. Then that takes it to the next level. So we're getting started with our bechamel. We've got our butter melting down. And whoa, we have it on a low heat because we want to melt our butter slowly. We don't want to throw it in a really hot pan and then it gets all brown, because truly that will mess up our sauce. You don't want that. So we have our flour ready for when our melted butter is completely melted, and we're going to add it in a little bit. Alright, so now that our butter is completely melted, we're gonna throw about 1/3 cup of flour. All right, we wanna cook it down first. I'd rather add it in steps instead of add too much, and then you're kind of lost at that point. So from the looks of it, we turned up our heat a little bit, close to medium. We wanna cook down this flour. We're gonna need some more. It's still a little bit too liquidy, as you can see. Right there, it's a little too liquidy. So we're gonna add a little bit more. All right, that should be good. Yeah, perfect. So this roux is really crucial to have a thick bechamel, because you want it to be thick. And then if you don't get this right, your sauce is not gonna be good. our roux is perfect. It's cooking down. Once you can't leave it. You gotta keep stirring or else it's gonna get really black. So just keeps whisking off all this flour and you're gonna start smelling the aroma of the flour cooking down. That's how you know it's ready to add your milk. All right, so what we gotta do is add milks in steps. You don't wanna add all your milk at once. You need to add it in steps or else it's gonna take forever. So, in a couple seconds it's gonna get, yeah, there you go. It's getting really thick right now, right? So we're cooking that down. It's getting super thick. And then you're gonna get you're not gonna be confident about it. But trust me, it's gonna work. Keep adding a little bit at a time and whisk. All right, keep adding. You gotta be on top of your bechamel or else it'll boil over. The milk's gonna be stuck at the bottom and cook, and then it's not gonna be good. So you gotta be on top of your bechamel. So as you can see, our bechamel is not done. What happened was, I'll show you. I went to go use the restroom, and even though I said don't leave it, I left it, and we got burnt on the bottom. And that's no good, people. That's how your bechamel is gonna go to crap. So what I did is I got it in a bowl. Luckily, it wasn't thick, so we just got the milk on the bowl. We transferred to another pan. So here we go. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna start seasoning everything. So just make sure you're constantly stirring, or else you'll be an idiot like me and have to get a new pan. All right, so we'll get a little black pepper, some salt, and then nutmeg, just a little bit. In order to make a Greek bechamel, what we gotta do is we have some egg yolks right over here, and we need to temper them. So get a little like measuring cup, go into your bechamel, and then add over here, and then whisk right now. The reason we're doing this is so we can get those egg yolks used to a higher temperature. So instead of just throwing all your egg yolks into the bechamel right now, that wouldn't be a good idea. I make it like scrambled eggs, and then you're gonna see like little yellow particles, and that's no good. That's amateur stuff, and we don't want that. So get a little bit more in there, and then it'll be up the heat. So there we go. We'll add it slowly, and then with your other hand, just whisk it in. And we're also gonna add some freshly grated Parmesan cheese, just to give a little bit more saltiness and nuttiness. Our bechamel is done, and now we're ready to layer our moussaka. So let's do this. So on the base of the moussaka, you're gonna have potato. So we'll just line up our potato. Try to get even pieces next to each other. If they overlap a little bit, no problem. You can always fix something. Now our eggplant. And now our meat sauce. So be careful. We're gonna try to get everything nice and even. All right, now we're gonna top off with our bechamel. We have everything layered up. Beautiful. So what we're gonna do as a little garnish is we're gonna put some Parmesan on top. And what this is gonna do is gonna give it a nice little golden color at the top and give it some nice cheese flavor as well. We've got our moussaka ready to go. We're gonna throw it in our oven at 350. All right, and all you gotta do is give it about 35 minutes, maybe 40 minutes. Just keep an eye on it. Basically, we're looking for golden crust. nice and golden at the top. Once that's done, you're good to go. All right, everyone. So our moussaka got done, but when it comes to moussaka, it's not supposed to look like this. Moussaka is supposed to rest about like 2 hours after you get it out of the oven. But as you can see, I have friends over, so we were hungry and we needed to eat. So it's sloppy, but don't worry, it's good. We just needed more time for it to cool down. So let's taste. Nice and fresh. Classic moussaka. Awesome taste. Definitely try it out. Try pasticcio as well. We'll make pasticcio another time, and we'll go from there. How'd you guys like it? Did you like it?
Yeah.
I'm not forcing you to say it, right?
I just barfed.